Hi, my name is Nanakwesi Eya and I'm from Studio Room 4. This is Go in 5. Go in 5 is an editing platform. Here we learn about editing, new skills. If you're a beginner or you're already into the game and you want new skills attached with whatever you're doing, you are in the right place. In our previous video, we did getting started with Premiere Pro, and this video we are going to look at importing. Please wait before I'll say anything. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go below and subscribe, share, so your friend will also have access to it and we enjoy being awesome. Also, if you don't understand anything, you just have to drop your comment in the comment section below so that I can get to know what you mean and we can interact and share wonderful ideas. Now let's get started. First, launch your Premiere Pro application. And now we are on this level. In the previous video, we did a couple of things before we got to this. So if you haven't seen that or watched that, go back and watch before you come back join us in this video. Alright, importing. Importing simply means bringing your files on your location, your computer, the files you're going to edit, you're bringing it into the workstation of Premiere Pro or any editing application that you are using. Now in Premiere Pro, you can do this in 3 different ways. One is by going to File and go to Import. Then you can locate where you saved your files. For us here, we saved our files on desktop and DCI and 100 Canon folder. Or another way doing this is by right-clicking empty space of the project panel where there is no file in the project panel. You right-click and then just go to straightforward import, and it will give you the same panel that opened to you in the first one, the process that we went to file and import. Then you can locate where you saved your files, and then, or you can just open your browser, any place of your a folder on a desktop or wherever the location your files are. Then you locate where your files are and we just go to DCI and then make sure that we have the files over here. Okay, we have the files over here and we can just drag and then drop into Premiere Pro here, and it's basically when I release, it's going to just copy everything into Premiere Pro. That means you've imported. But the right way to do it and the normal way to do it is by just going to the file and then imports, and then locate where your files are and import. When you go to open like this, it will just open the folder to you, and when you click on a single file and go to open, it's just going to import only a single file to you. And that is not what you want to do. You want to import everything in the folder. So importing everything in the folder, you need to go back to the folder that contains everything you need, okay, in it, and then just click on the folder and go to import folder. In that way, it's going to import everything in that folder, like folder that you selected. So with few minutes or few seconds, it will load everything into your work space. Note that first time of loading your files into Premiere Pro, you actually need to wait for the workstation to create 8 pics. It's also a file, a backup file that the application is going to communicate with your system and the workstation so that they can run a little bit fast for you. When you import the files into Premiere Pro, basically you're working on the files that you imported, but it is not the files that you're working on right now. It's actually a different file you are working with, a file that the application can find, can be comfortable to communicate with. That is what you are working on. So you have to wait to finish creating the pics, and it will just pop up reading here, somewhere here. But because now it's not creating any pics, it's because we've already worked on these particular files that we've imported, so it already has its files and the backups. That is it. So this is how you import your footages into Premiere Pro workstation. Now when you get to this you have to make sure that every single thing you do in Premiere Pro, before you save your file, make sure that the pics has finished loading or finished creating the pics before you can save. And a simple way of saving your work or your project is by going to File and go to Save, and automatically it's going to save everything that you've worked on so far. So if it happens you shut down and you reload your project, you are going to continue from where you ended. Now in the previous video we did said that everything you click on the project panel, it's going to give it to you in a source panel, so that you see whatever is in the project panel clearly. Now this is what we mean. We open the folder and we wait for our tabs to open, our files to give us some visual to know which files you are actually working on it. Okay, so now that we have a complete file opened, then when we double click on any of the files here like this, when you click single click, okay, it will let you just play from the source from the project panel, but not in the source panel, which just a single click. But when you double click on the file, it's going to open the file in a source panel like this. So when it happens this way, you can play from here like this, so that you can clearly see what your characters or your subjects are doing. Now in the source panel we have a couple of buttons over there that you need to, few buttons that you need to know, and you're good to go. The art marker is going to help you. Let's say you find an action over here and you don't want that to miss. You only want to when you double click on this device, you want to get to know where that particular action is, and this button is there to do that job for you. Click on the button and it's going to add a button for you. So even when you play and even lost where exactly the action is, and even forgotten the time, the frame that the action started, you can just click on the add button you added, and it will just get you back there like this. And the add mark in is also a button which maybe you are working, you want to select a certain portion of the footage that you're working on and then just bring it to your timeline. To do that, to select a particular or a portion that a performance in a portion way that you want to select, and make sure that if you're dragging into the timeline, this is the action you wanted. This mark is there, so when you click on it, it's going to mark where you place the cursor. And if I drag forward to this action and click on mark out, it's going to mark that space for you. So basically, when you drag this file to your timeline, it's going to only select, give you the portion, okay, the portion that you selected here. And this button is also there for you to play back a frame like this. It's actually playing, but you don't see it. Just go back a single frame, and don't forget that you should know a single frame simply means photo, like still photo. It's the still photo. So the videos that you're watching here is just a photo, a picture in multiple frames, and it becomes motion picture. So playing back in frames, that is why this button is here for. And the play button will just play your file for you directly. And you can also use the same button to stop. And this one is also the play forward frame left. We have the left, this is the left one, and this is the right one. So these are the tools you need to put in mind. So the rest of the tools will continue on, or we talked about it if we actually start working on our timeline. Now let's look at some tools. Same tools applies to the one on the program, which is this place. Now we have a marker like over there in the source panel. That's the same use. We have the mark in and the mark out, and we have go to in, like we have maybe if you have arranged a lengthy on your it's a lengthy work on your timeline, and you want to just go to the beginning, you just click on this button and it will just take you to the beginning. Same button works here like this. So it will take you to the beginning of your mark. If I go again, it will take me to the beginning of where I marked my project. But if I clear the buttons, it will just take me to the end, which is brought you here. That is the same buttons applies to the program panel. Don't forget that anything that you do here automatically affects the timeline. So if I play here, that means I'm trying to say it should play the timeline for me. For example, so when I click on the program panel, that means it's taking the effect on the timeline. The same way, if I move the cursor on the timeline to any position of the clip, it means it's going to show in the program panel like this. And when I press the space button, it will play without clicking the program play button. Thank you very much for watching, and we again going to meet in the next video. Please, if you haven't subscribed, just go below, just take your time and go through, and you'll see a subscription button. Click on it. Don't forget to leave the bell. Click also on the bell so that anytime we drop new video, you'll be the first person to watch. My name is Nana Kwesi Eyia, and I'm from Studio Room 4, and this is Go in 5. Simply learn how to edit in 5 minutes. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next of our video. It's awesome, so let's try to be awesome.